Okay. Hmm. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And yeah, pretty much as you can see in the title of the lesson, Israeli missiles have Iran, really should say hit. Let me see if I can change it now. Maybe we say strike. Okay, yeah, let's update that. So we'll just call that strike Iran. And, this pretty much just happened. You can really see I typed in the headlines, Israel strikes Iran. And, at first I wasn't going to do a video. I wasn't planning on doing a lesson just yet. But as the more and more, different headlines just kept coming in on the same thing, just like, hey, we'll just do it live, do it live. Fuck it. But anyway, as you can see, recently, I think really in the past week, you had Iran, launch those strikes, into Israel, and there was speculation as to whether Israel was going to retaliate, and so on and so forth. And well, here we're seeing that they have retaliated. So now it's starting to look like it might turn into a tit for tat kind of situation, but it all depends on what happens from here, whether Iran decides to retaliate or not. Now, with that being said, it's always important to keep in mind perspective, right? Because this is in itself, right, biblical prophecy, as Yahweh Shai prophesied in Matthew, the 24th chapter, that we were going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay, but the end was not yet. So, amidst the ongoing wars that are already happening right now, there's when you hear on different news stations and they're discussing how this, there's fears as to how this can turn into a full-blown regional war. That is a rumor of war, and that in itself is a prophecy. That's what Yahweh Shai, he said that a part of the prophecies will be you would hear of rumors of wars. Okay, but we understand that there's still other prophecies that need to take place before that destruction hits. Now, from a situation like this onto nuclear missiles flying, it's still ways away. Okay, what I mean by that is the kind of missiles that they're shooting at each other are not the kind that are going to be flying all around during the ultimate destruction, where you're going to have Russia and the U.S. and all that involved. Okay, there's a pace at which all this goes. So even if this turns into a war that starts out with Iran and Israel, it doesn't mean that nuclear destruction is coming, 3 days from now. Okay, but this does give a perspective in terms of speed as to the timeline of the MOTB, because we know the MOTB has to come out before this war goes nuclear. But now you're seeing, right, the things that are leading to this war. Okay, and I think one of the most beautiful aspects about this is the pinpoint accuracy of prophecy. Okay, now you can go back and find videos, back in 2016, 2014, 2007, all those old videos, and even older than that, where you'll see brothers and elders and the apostles, with like Great Millstone, uh out having camp prophesying about this. Okay, prophesying about Iran, prophesying about Israel, okay, prophesying about Russia and World War III. And it was always with because of faith, it was with accuracy. We listed, yes, you're gonna have it was gonna be something that between Iran and Israel, and primarily Israel was going to do something, as we always go to, which I'm going to pull up again in Jeremiah 49, that is going to draw out, basically all these nations to that region. All right. And one of the first being the US, because the US backs Israel like, like flies on shit. Okay. Like white on rice. So after all those years, at a time when it was, if you heard somebody telling you about this, a decade ago, you're thinking, okay, like there may be certain things going on in the East, but it's not really as active as it is now. So it sounds kind of far fetched, if you didn't believe it. But guess what? After all these years, look at exactly what's happening. As time goes on, the events that are unfolding on the earth are literally directly in line with Bible prophecy. Okay, the world is not heading in any other course than that which is described in the Bible. Okay, and that's the exciting part about prophecy, seeing the accuracy, right? Matter of fact, let me start off with that, and then I'm gonna click into some of these articles here. But this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. And I'm just going to read it while I'm still going to share this screen here, but I'm just going to read it. Okay, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, let me just pull it up on here. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And now, guess what? The vision is plain. It's plain for us to understand. All right, and to make it even more clear to others. Right, verse 3: for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And that's the part right there, which is, it doesn't matter how long it's been that we've been saying this on and on and on. It is speaking and it's not lying, meaning it's happening exactly as it was prophesied to happen. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. And once again, going back to the point being made here, which as time goes on, prophecy becomes more and more apparent. Guess what? People are going to start to become more, freaked out, because the what does it say in Ezekiel 33? I believe it's 33 and 33. But it talks about, when this comes to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Because how spooky is it going to be that you're telling people that, okay, World War III is coming. You're telling them that they're going to implement, a system that's going to require you to take a implant, a micro C-hip inside of your body, or else you can't buy or sell anything. You're telling people that in the midst of World War III, there's going to be what the world knows as an alien invasion. And then the elect are going to get beamed up and all of these things. And they're saying, bro, this sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? So imagine the look on their faces when literally the thing that they least expected to even be a reality, which is the things we've been telling them about, happens exactly like that in their life. And they turn around and they turn on the TV and they see, for example, U.S. has officially entered a war, or Israel is officially at war with Iran, and now the U.S. is involved, and now your ass is getting drafted. Okay, and then as things progress forward, you start to see, now they implemented the C-hip. Like, all these things are going to come to pass, and people are going to look at it before their eyes, and some are going to be in denial. Like, how is this possible? Like, this is exactly what they were saying. Well, that's how prophecy works. So it's definitely exciting times, a very beautiful time to not just be alive, but to be alive and understand what's happening in the world. Okay, so let's read some of these real quick. This came out 14 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 26 minutes ago. Let's check out Reuters. Okay, so let's read a little bit here. It says Israeli missiles hit site in Iran. And here's the thing, right? There's a difference between proxy wars and like just straight up back and forth, at each other. And that line was already crossed when Iran decided, yo, we tired of this shit, right? So Israel struck, I think it was a consulate in Syria, killing some Iranian officials. Iran says, we're gonna strike you. So we're not gonna go through Hezbollah. We're not gonna go through proxies. We're gonna do it ourselves from our area, from our land, and we're gonna strike you. And Israel says, well, now we're going to retaliate and do more damage than you did. See, you telegraphed. That's the thing. Iran telegraphed what they were going to do. And, when you listen to a lot of the things that were going on, basically what was being said is that Iran deliberately telegraphed what it is that they were going to do because they wanted to respond as they said they would. However, they didn't really want to escalate things like on that level. And so after they had they had struck, they did it in a way that Israel would have more than enough time to basically respond and avert any major damage. Israel said, "F that," "F that." We coming for you, we coming for you. So now, like I said, we got to see how things unfold. Whether they just say, "All right, we all just going to chill out," or maybe they get into it. Maybe a war starts and it just keeps on going just like that, and then every so often it steps up a bit, and then it steps up a bit as other prophecies are being fulfilled, and it all falls right in line. Okay, but we can pretty much, from a spiritual standpoint, we're getting close to the point where we can literally see the end, because these are all end time prophecies. Okay, so let's read this. It says Israeli missiles hit site in Iran. ABC News reports Israeli missiles have hit a site in Iran. Like I said, not a proxy, not any other region, but actually in Iran. And guess what? Then eventually, this will also lead into the lines being drawn, deeper in the sand when it comes to where does this nation lie versus this nation, because now you're going to start to see why in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it says that Russia is going to be a guard onto the following nations, and then it mentions Iran. And then it also mentions a couple of other nations. It mentions some African countries. It mentions, Turkey in there. So as these world events continue to occur, we will start to see on a clear level, so this is what happens. This is why Turkey, is even though now they're, I think they're still a part of NATO. So, but this is why in Ezekiel 38 it says that they were going to be Russia was going to be a guard unto them. This is how those African nations got involved in here. This is how it pretty much all unfolds to where we see it as it is written in prophecy. So all these things are becoming clearer and clearer. Citing a U.S. official days after Iran launched a drone strike on Israel in response to an attack at the Iranian embassy in Syria. And you can think of the relationship between the U.S. and Israel sort of like this, right? Where, let's just say right now, U.S. is like, Israel got hit. U.S. is like, yo, chill. We don't need to do all this. Just chill, because I'm not really trying to get into all this right now. Iran says, yeah, all right, I'm a chill, all right. After boom, then they go and retaliate. And now the U.S. is like, yo, I told you to chill, but damn, now, it's like, you're reckless boy that you got to have his back, but he's one of those, he don't give a damn kind of guy. So now he goes and starts some shit. And because he's your boy, you gotta, you whether you like it or not, you gotta jump up in there. Okay, but the problem is when you jump up in there, guess what? The other opposing side, they're gonna bring in the big guns. That's really the fear that a lot of people have concerning these two nations. It's not just a matter of, oh, they'll just figure it out between themselves. No, because as much as Babylon, aka America, is spoken about in prophecy as as the wicked country as it is, it's still one of the world superpowers when it comes to military capabilities. Okay, you can't just fully discount them all right, because we're against them in prophecy, but they still have a pretty formidable arsenal. Okay. That's why they're able to go around doing the stupid shit that they do around the world. So that's why a lot of people fear, because when you have a country like the US backing a country like Israel, and Israel is causing this mayhem that the US has to get involved in, that's what starts to cause that vortex. And then it starts to draw in all these other nations in here. When you look at World War One, at least the cover story they give us, World War One, World War Two, like not when these wars start, they become world wars. Okay, it's not like they just start and always the first day it starts, all the countries in the world already drew their sides and boom, they all in it day one. No, one starts there, then this country drags in this one, then because this one is in an alliance with this one, they got to jump in, and then the other side got to jump in, and then that's how the vortex works. And then more and more nations jump in, and then it becomes an actual world war. Okay. Oh, well, there you go. Iran said they're going to target Israeli nuclear sites. So it doesn't look like they're going to be backing they're going to be backing down anytime soon. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this article, but there's also something that I wanted to find. I tried searching it up, but I can't find it. I forgot exactly where I saw it, what website I got it from. But I did a lesson on this, and I'm sure other brothers have too in the past. There was a letter. Okay, apparently there was a letter that was between Albert Pike and I forget the other guy's name. I think it was like Giuseppe Mazzini or Mazzino or however you pronounce his name. And it was about 3 world wars. And when you read about the actual plan for 3 world wars, and when you read about the 3rd World War, it mentions in that letter that the plan was for it to start between the Zionists and the Islamic world or the Islamic region. Okay, and that's how it would start, and it would go on from there, and it would basically lead to a time of such chaos and turmoil that the world would be in such a devastated state that they would then be able to introduce their full-blown Luciferian agenda in X, Y, and Z. Okay, but it was definitely mentioned in there. Okay, those 2 parties, so to speak. So it's not surprising that it's happening now. It's just beautiful to see how this is all written in scriptures. It's written in prophecy. Now, what other book, has the pinpoint accuracy of these world events like the scriptures do? That's why the scriptures say none shall want her mate. Okay, so let's read a little bit of this. Citing a U.S. official days after Iran launched a drone strike on Israel in response to an attack at the Iranian embassy in Syria. Iran's Fars news agency said an explosion, I would say it was heard, at an airport in the Iranian city of Isfahan, but the cause was not immediately known. Several Iranian nuclear sites are located in Isfahan province, including Natanz, centerpiece of Iran's uranium enrichment program. So they really hit hard. Oh, okay. I see what you're referring to here. I just got the headline too. It says Iran to target Israeli nuclear sites in counterattack to this evening's attack from Israel, Iran IRGC states. So I mean, there you have it, right? Yeah, they don't seem like they wanna call this a day. They don't seem like they want to just buy each other some Starbucks and then turn around and call it a day. They seem like they want to go back and forth. Well, Yahweh Shai said there would be wars and rumors of wars. So it's exciting, but it's also, time for you to really lock in, right? Because it just goes to show you how the Lord is picking these things up. Once upon a time, prophetic news would come like once every couple of months, once every like 6 or 7 or 8 months. But if you've been paying attention, you've seen that over the years, that time, like we read in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, that time has been shorter and shorter and shorter, to where now instead of like once every year, once every 6 months, once every month, once every week. Now it's literally days, hours. This happens, then this happens, then this happens. Well, the Lord is working. Okay, the Lord is working, and it's exciting to see that the Lord is working. So guess what? That's motivation. That's ammo. You see things like this. Like I always say, man, the most exciting thing for a prophet is prophecy. It honestly doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're eating or chilling or playing video games or whatever it is you're doing. Nothing excites you more if you truly have that spirit of prophecy. Nothing excites you more than prophecy. I guarantee you that it doesn't matter what you are doing. If you got a text message, whatever, maybe you were distracted, you got a text message or you got some breaking news notification, and I'm just throwing this out there for an example's sake, that just said, I don't know what it was, but something along the lines of the MOTB was actually being implemented. Like X nations have decided that starting next week or next month they're going to do this and make it mandatory. This is just an example's sake. You seeing that alone would take your mind off of whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it is, you could literally be in the midst of getting pulled over by a cop, and at that point, yeah, it's all good. It's all good, officer. I'll take the ticket, because right now you excited, you like, yeah, I need to get to a spot where I could do a lesson on this, or you get excited, and it's like the scriptures say, joy unspeakable. Okay. Let me see. Let's read a little bit more. So it says several flights were diverted over Iranian airspace, CNN reported. Over the weekend, Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles in a retaliatory strike after a suspected Israeli strike on its embassy compound in Syria. Now, what else is interesting is it's crazy how, like, we're seeing all this, we're paying attention, we're looking into it. I was telling my brother how, like, prior, like years ago, I didn't understand why, when I was younger, of course, I didn't understand why people wanted to watch the news all the time. Here it is, you trying to watch some cartoons or something, Cartoon Network or something like that. And there it is. They can you switch it to the news channel? You get so vexed. You're like, well, what's so entertaining about the news, man? You always want to watch the news for what? But guess what? When Iran struck Israel, guess where my ass was at? I was on BBC, listening to BBC, listening to the news. And I'm like, damn, if you told this to a younger me, I would have never thought that. But through the truth, in prophecy, you sort of understand, why it is that people that are watching are paying attention so much. But I say that to say that even with all of this going on, guess what? There are some people, majority of people, that actually have no clue to what is going on here. And it's kind of like this, right? When you learn a new word and it seems as though all of a sudden everywhere you go, all you hear is that new word, and you're like, damn, I never heard this word being used until now. Well, it actually was being used, but because you just didn't know it or understand it, it's almost like you didn't hear it. Your brain didn't recognize it. Well, it's kind of like that for these people when it comes to these prophecies, because they don't know and understand these prophecies. And what I mean is, they don't know and understand or see why something happening in the East is going to affect them, or why they should care about it. To them, it's like, oh, a lot of things have happened in the East. There was a whole ISIS thing. There was a whole this thing, that thing. So, this is just another one of those situations. Why should I care? So they don't hear it. They don't see it. To them, everything is still good and daisy. Okay. But guess what? When the effects of whatever is going on start to hit them here, that's when they're gonna be, oh shoot, what the hell is going on? Oh, yo, then they're gonna be sending you articles talking about, oh, have you seen this? Oh, do you know what this is? But that is only gonna go on for so long until something happens to where you're put in such a bad case that it's too late to now try and find out what's going on. You should have been paying attention. And that's why the Lord said, be occupied in prophecy. It says most of the drones and missiles were downed before reaching Israeli territory. Iran told the United Nations Security Council on Thursday that Israel must be compelled to stop any further military adventurism against our interest, as the UN Secretary General warned that the Middle East was in a moment of maximum peril. Well, I wonder what he's going to say about it now. Iran had said it was going to, Israel had said it was going to retaliate against Iran's April 13 missile and drone attack. And well, looks like they just did, or they did just that. Okay, so now let's get this real quick. And like I said, this is exciting, but there's still, there's still other prophecies to take place, namely the MOTB, before this war can go nuclear. But if there's anything that you've seen about prophecy, is that the Lord deals with duality. There's one thing happening, but there's also another thing happening. So these prophecies are in a way interconnected, right? Because it's like the Lord sets up the steps needed for this thing to go nuclear. But while those things are cooking, he's setting up these other prophecies. Because remember, the reason that this destruction has to work with the MOTB is in Revelation 14:9, the punishment for taking the MOTB is you're gonna be destroyed in that fire. Well, guess what? If the fire was to hit before the MOTB comes out, how is that gonna be a consequence? The destruction hits, and then they bring out the MOTB. Remember, the destruction is going to be the end all be all. That's going to be the point where Yahushua returns. So this is why those prophecies are all tied in together. If that destruction hits, that means Yahushua has to make his return, because if he doesn't, we're going to be charcoal. We're going to be desert. We're going to be sand. And when Yahushua makes his return, he's bringing in a new era, a new age. So remember what the scriptures say, all these things, Yahushua said, this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. Well, guess what? There is an order to that all being fulfilled. Okay. Now this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is Israel, what they're known as Israel today, the Amalekites, okay, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. How is that going to happen? Well, how they're drawing them out now? Okay, by this back and forth, they struck Iran retaliated, they retaliated back. Guess what? That turns into a war, because Iran says, now we're going to retaliate too. So that turns into a war where now it's not that Iran is using proxies to go against Israel, which is also, no. Now Iran is directly coming against Israel. Israel is directly coming against Iran, and then it's escalating. When you get into a fight with somebody, it starts off with maybe a rumor, and then shit talking, and then you get in each other's face, and then you talk some more shit, and then somebody throws the first punch, then somebody retaliates with another punch, and then it goes on from there. And then somebody's on the floor, somebody's getting, pedigreed somewhere or RKO'd or some shit, and then the fight ends because somebody is now too injured or they get broken up. But the point is, tit for tat does not stay the same. Somebody always escalates it. It starts one way, the person retaliates. Then the next retaliation is even greater, then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. So guess what? As this back and forth is going on, guess who has to join in? The US. And guess who's allied with the US? NATO. And guess who's an enemy of NATO? Russia. Oh, China's also an enemy. Okay. And it's just going to draw them all in there. Okay, so these are all part of biblical prophecy. And like I said before, it's a beautiful thing to witness this. Now, I wish I could have found that article. Yes, the brother put it in here. It was Pike's plan for World War III. Yeah, I wish I could have found it, but I can't find it. I tried looking, but I can't find it. But anyway, it's all in there. Okay, so matter of fact, before I close it out, let me get this precept And this goes to show you, man, that hey, the Lord, the Lord is truly faithful to his word. Okay, because all these things that were written, we don't even got to come out and try to say anything about people that, oh, the Bible was written by man, or this or that, or honestly, it really doesn't matter, right? Because whatever you got to say, you can't defeat prophecy. It's the ultimate truth. You say all that, I'm just gonna point you to an article and tell you go read that and then come back. Okay, this is Mark chapter 13 and 32. It says, "But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is." And that now the thought just came back to me. When the mark of the beast gets implemented, okay, with its speed and its swiftness, whatever is the driving factor, because it's already been introduced. People are aware of it. Remember, once again, years ago, when you told people about this, it was like a what, bro? This is like something that they're thinking is like their grandkids are gonna have to deal with. Like it's some sci-fi joint. Well, it's reality now. It's common. It's common talk. The average individual. How I can't even mention how many times people have come up to the camp, and as we're explaining it to them, we don't even have to tell them. They are already telling us, oh, like Elon Musk Neuralink, or oh, like the device that they're gonna put inside of people. They already know. Okay, people already know. They're already warmed up to the concept of that thing. So now all these guys got to do is just set up the right event to be able to push it, on a mass scale. And the thing about crises is crises allow you to sort of cut corners. They allow you to move things fast. If you try to assimilate this into the world by, just like a normal way where you got to phase out slowly over time, this place does this place does this, that might take a while. And people don't like change. You know how you get people to like change? Disaster. That disaster, and all you do is just tell them the change that you're bringing is going to give you a sense of the past, a sense of what you had before, some sense of stability. That's it. Shake up the world a little bit and tell them, look, you do this, you'll get stability again. They're going to do it. Okay, and then you don't have to wait decades before they can accept this. They're going to accept it on the spot. Okay, and when that happens, because remember, this is the Lord's prophecy. So when that happens, all the the arguments, the naysayers, oh, it's not this and this and this sin and all the things that it comes with it, all that is going to cease. In fact, no, we're not even going to have time to be trying to go back and forth. Oh, but is this? Oh, but is that? Because it's going to be things are going to be moving quick, and it's going to be real. Okay, we're all going to be in the hour of temptation. We're all going to be put in the situation where you're literally going to realize, yo, this is some real stuff going on. Like here it is. You got to literally gird up your loins and be ready. You might get fired that same day. Who knows? But at that point, it's not going to be a matter of, like, oh, yeah, you were saying it was this, or you were saying, hey, we all going to see what it is. And it's going to be big. Remember the whole demic that just happened a couple of years ago? It was big, right? Commercials. They had buses. You turn around, you see a bus where it got this thing on it. They set up tents. They lock things down, and on the news, this is all you were hearing about. They had billboards with this. I mean, they pushed this on every front, and just like that, now everything is quote unquote back to normal. What you think they're gonna do to bring out this MOTB? They're gonna push it on a much higher scale, and you will not be able to escape it. People in the world are going to ask about it. People in your congregation are going to ask about it. Your family members, everybody's going to be, yo, what's going on with this? You the one who will be talking this conspiracy stuff. What's happening here? And you're going to need to give an answer. You are going to need to give an answer. Anyway, this is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 33. I'm going to read it again and then close this out. It says, take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. Okay, and so the safest thing to do is just do what you got to do. You know, when you were a kid and you in class and the teacher leaves the class and everybody starts acting up, class clown starts acting a fool. Just do your work. You know, don't try to be the guy who's I'm gonna mess around and when I hear the teacher coming, then I'm gonna go back to no. You never know when he's gonna pop up. So just the safest thing to do is keep doing what you got to do, and let the Lord come back and see you doing it and say, "Well, well done, my good and faithful servant." Okay, because guess what? With all these prophecies taking place, it also means that the time of our evaluation is even closer. You know, the time where Yahushua comes back and evaluates our work to say, okay, every man's work is now being tried. You know, is yours of gold? Is it of silver? Is it of paper? Is it of what is it of? You know, and what reward are you going to get? Well, that ultimate decision is here. You know, so we're closer now than ever to finding out whether you're going to eat a missile or you're going to get a crown on your head. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to end it here. That was pretty much the point on that. Lord willing, that was informative and edifying to the elect. And Lord willing, the Lord continues to speed up these days, continue to let this escalate and you know, have them push that MOTB, you know, because hey, we're trying to get out of here, man. We are trying to get out of here. But anyway, in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.